Hello, guys. Good morning. I know it's like 6 a.m. in Cameroon now for those who are up. It's 1 a.m. here, and I was about to go to bed, but I got this call from our man in the nation's capital, Yaoundé. Remember that I told you that I was going to keep you apprised, that is giving you every update that comes in. And now the reasons why the Constitutional Council did ask that they adjourn the case of Professor Maurice Kamto to tomorrow, August 5th, in order for the decision taken to be made public, is because they wanted to deliberate. But why did they decide to take some time to deliberate before coming back with a decision? Is because, one, the man in the center of the whole rejection, Professor Maurice Kamto, is the man of the moment, is a threat to the government, is the people's choice. And so it puts the Constitutional Council in between the devil, being the population, and the deep Red Sea, being the government of Mr. Biya, those who have put them there as members of the Constitutional Council. And so, we hear now that last night was extremely long for members of the Constitutional Council and their president. Unfortunately for the president, he is not a child. He's an old man who deserves his good sleep. But now, because of the likes of Atanga, Ngoh, Famundongo, Eno Abrams Egbe of Elekam, Esuse, and you name the rest, this guy is having sleepless nights. Questions were directed to Atanga last night. How did you manage the plot organized with Jedene Yebga? How did you manage it? Because Atanganji's representative, the person who came on behalf of the Ministry of Territorial Administration to stand in that Congress hall and tell the Constitutional Council and the rest of the world that since 2021, Anissa Ekane has not been president of Manidem, caused havoc. That person destroyed the territorial administration boss Atanganji, and also the plan of the government of Ngoh. Because how do you explain that Anissa Ekane, that you claim not to be president of Manidem since 2021, has been the one signing and collecting subvention for the party? Are you saying that you are conniving with Anissa Ekane to embezzle public funds? Because the money that is given to political parties to manage their affairs is taxpayers' money. So how do you explain that, Mr. Atanganji, if your representative is saying that since 2021, Anissa Ekane has not been the president of Manidem, yet letters addressed to the party carry his name? Money disbursed to the party, he is the one signing and receiving it. So how come you're saying that since 2021 he has not been president of Manidem? The very gullible Atanganji had no response. It doesn't end there. The next question that members of the Constitutional Council are asking the Territorial Administration boss is, the United Nations came in, signed a partnership with Elekam to manage elections. President of political parties were invited. For Manidem, you addressed a letter to Anissa Ekane as president. He took part in that meeting. Were you inviting somebody who is not president of a party to represent the party? Another question that they could not answer. You had a preparatory meeting with political parties for the upcoming presidential election. The invitation letter you sent to Manidem, you addressed it to Anicet Ekane as president of Manidem. So how come you did that, whereas you know that he is not the president of Manidem? So as it stands, Atanga shot himself in the leg. Yes. And because, study Atanga very well. He is a gullible man. And don't forget, gullibility is an infirmity. It requires a kind of a pathological investigation if you have to diagnose a proper therapy to manage the situation. And so, Kamto is a medical doctor when it comes to Atanga's case. He has carried out a pathological investigation and he has diagnosed a therapy that is taking Atanga off guard and keeping Kamto a step ahead of their plans. But now, there is a problem. There is division when it comes to the Constitutional Council members. Some are beginning to wash their hands off like Pontius Pilate. Why some are saying that they don't give a damn what is going to happen. They have to reject the candidacy of Professor Maurice Kamto in order to please Ngoh and our gullible bully Atanga. But you see, this thing did not end only within the Constitutional Council and members of government. There are senior members of the Senate who called in to advise the Constitutional Council members that they should do the right thing in order not to push the country into chaos. Because just a glimpse of what happened outside the Congress Hall, while the Constitutional Council was there listening to the petition cases, are not good signs at all. And so we are in a very crucial moment in the history of Cameroon and the destiny of the millions of Cameroonians who have become so despondent. Despondent because the country has been taken hostage by a few who have decided to put Cameroonians in an abyss of misery and total loss of hope. Now, this is the problem we have. Tomorrow, or today, the 5th of August, at 3 p.m., when they convene again to tell the people what they have decided, the question is, has the president of the Constitutional Council, Atanga Clement, chosen to send Cameroon into an abyss of chaos, or to keep peace by rendering justice? Because injustice anywhere is a threat to justice and a threat to peace. The Constitutional Council, at the moment, its members are biting their nails. What decision are they going to put out tomorrow to Cameroonians concerning the candidacy of Professor Maurice Kamto? That is the question. That is the question, because unfortunately, Jerene Yebga's team had nothing to prove that he is a member of Manidem. The card of a militant he does not have. There is resolution number 4 of the last Congress of Manidem. He was dismissed. Documents are there. There is one attempt by Jerene Yebga in front of a judge in Douala to disqualify Anicet Ekane as president of Malidem, it was rejected because documents from Minister Atanga were tabled before him saying government recognizes Anissa Ekane as the only president of Malidem. So with all this glaring evidence, it is now obvious that the Constitutional Council is in the middle of a scheme that they will have to take themselves out as fast as possible if they want to go down in the history books as the people who for once allowed the laws of the land to prevail and justice to take its place in our society. 3 p.m. We are waiting. Time, I tell you, time has a way of solving problems.